Greetings, everyone. This is Jeff Wilkerson, Professor of Physics at Luther College, bringing you yet again what to look for in the night sky this time for the week of March 7th, 2022. We're looking at a spring sky here as we head through March. So first of all, we'll go back and talk about the morning sky, that we've been talking about the last several weeks and the planets there. So what you want to watch for in the morning sky, you've been seeing Venus big and bright and beautiful out there. Mars is below Venus. They're going to get closer and closer and closer as the week progresses, reaching their closest point, their smallest separation. They're not going to be right on top of each other, but it's still an interesting pairing to observe at the end of the week. So all week it's great. All next week it's great. So you got, all month of March. You keep watching this. But watch for Venus and Mars to be closer together as the week progresses. Off to their east is Saturn, and so see if you can see Saturn in the glow of the sun as the week progresses. That's a challenge. It's just going to get better and better and better over the next few weeks. So keep watching that area of the sky and start to notice Saturn making its appearance in there. So that's what we got for you in the morning sky with the planets that we've been observing. I thought that in the evening sky, we would take a look at Cancer, not a constellation that we look at very much, right? It's not something, I've always thought of Cancer, and I don't know the history of this, but Cancer is a pretty faint constellation with pretty faint stars, and it's not something, it doesn't have a bright asterism that just pops out and says, wow, look at me, like a lot of others, like a Gemini that we have here, or Leo that we have here that sit on either side of Cancer. And so I've always figured we just needed another zodiacal constellation. We needed another constellation for the sun to pass through there. And so, boom, Cancer is born, is the way I figure that comes about. So you got Castor and Pollux, the twin stars up here. Hopefully you're able to see those. You can find Castor and Pollux. And down here, we've got the triangle for the tail of Leo, and the backward question mark, the sickle for the head of Leo. Sitting in between them, I've blown that region up just a little bit so we can see it better, but sitting in between them is Cancer. And Cancer looks a little bit like a couple of stars down this direction, a star out that way and a star up here. So it's got a sort of maybe an ammonia molecule shape, I don't know. So it's got some sort of shape out in here. Sitting right at the heart of Cancer is the star of the grouping. The star of the constellation is Open Star Cluster M44. If you've got a good dark sky, you can see M44. The Beehive Cluster is what this is known as. And you can see the Beehive Cluster without any optical aid. The smallest of binoculars will really bring this popping into view for you. So I recommend getting your binoculars out and scanning from Castor and Pollux here over toward Regulus, the brightest star in Leo. And somewhere halfway in between there, you should see this beautiful grouping of stars, this glittering group of stars pop out. That is the Beehive Cluster, M44. That is, for me, the constellation of Cancer. That really tells us what we want to know about Cancer. It's really what we're looking for when we look out that direction. Now down below, so if we follow here, there's a couple of faint stars. They're bright enough to see, but they're not super bright stars. Acellus, Australis, and Cubans here down this direction. This lower star, just to the right of it, just to the west of this lower star, is another open star cluster, M67. It's a big old open star cluster, one of the older star clusters in the sky. We took data on it a couple of years, and we've used it to do some calibrations of some of our methods of finding variable stars. It's a pretty well-studied star. Stars are old and red, so that makes it a challenge to observe. But it's an interesting star cluster. This one you can see with your binoculars. If you have a small telescope, that's that's going to be a little bit better for you to see this old open cluster M67. But get out there and take a look. It's close enough to the star there, the relatively bright star, as bright as stars get in Cancer, for you to be able to find it by jumping off that star and just starting to scan to the right just a little bit. See it in your binoculars, see it in your telescope for sure. Now Zeta is an interesting star. If we go back up here to the heart of the constellation to M44 and then move across to the west over toward Gemini, we come to Zeta is the brightest star that's out this direction. That's a triple star system. So if you've got your telescope out and you're observing M67, by all means hop across and look at Zeta. The tight pair of that system only has a separation of about an arc second, making it a real challenge unless you've got good crisp skies. So this is a measure of how good your skies are, what you're observing is, what you're seeing is on any given night. And it's a fun double star to try to pick out for that reason, to see if you can tell that it's two blobs there together. In the third star in the pairing is about 6 arc seconds out from those two. So a much easier separation, and you should see that star. So you'll see two stars. If you lock your telescope in on there, you're going to see two stars, and one of those stars is going to be a double star in and of itself, and that's what you're trying to resolve, to see if you can see that tighter pair. I think that'll be a good, fun challenge. So get out here and observe the stars of observe the stars of Cancer, all relatively faint stars. So it's best to do this early in the week if you're going to do it this week. This is something you can do the rest of the spring. This is up, it gets dark. This region of the sky is up as it gets dark and will stay up most of the night. And so this is great to just go out, walk outside, take a look at this in the evening sky. You can do this anytime through March and April. And so you don't have to do that this week, but if you're doing it this week, do it early in the week, because the moon's coming through, Taurus is over here, and the moon is coming through Taurus and racing toward Cancer. And so by the time we get to Friday evening out in here and Saturday evening, and then on into Sunday evening, it's going to come crashing into here. So you want to go outside and look for this, and you want to go outside and look for this on the evening of the 12th, Saturday evening, the 12th. The moon's going to be right here below. It's going to be about 3/4 full, and it's going to be right here below Pollux, the twin stars, Castor and Pollux up here. A great sight to see, 3/4 full moon. By the time it's that close, it's washing out some of these fainter stars of Cancer. By the next night, it's going to be, the moon will have moved over into Cancer right here and make it hard to observe the faint stars and make it hard to observe those open star clusters. And so, these stars, this star right here, that's a 4th magnitude star we're talking about. And so if you don't have a pretty dark sky, you're going to have a hard time seeing a 4th magnitude star like that. You can see it, but you got to work at it. You're not going to just walk outside and go, there's a star, right? You're going to have to really have a decent sky to be able to see that. The alpha star down here at Cubans is, I don't remember how bright it is. I'm going to check. It looks like it's also a 4th magnitude star. It actually shows a little bit fainter than Acellus Australis. So this is all faint stars. We're talking about 4th magnitude stars down in here. I was thinking that was going to be just a little bit brighter. That's how tough this constellation is. And if you wait until the moon is here on the 12th or right on top of it on the 13th, you're not going to see these stars, and you're going to struggle to even see bright star cluster M44, the Beehive Cluster, by the time it gets to the evening of the 13th. So that's what we got. Pay attention to Venus and Mars in the morning, getting closer and closer and closer as the week moves on. Watch later on for Saturn to join that group. Watch for the moon to move through Taurus, through Gemini, and into Cancer this week. And before it gets there, while it's still off in Taurus early in the week, take a chance, take the opportunity to go outside and study Cancer a little bit and learn some of these stars. Learn a new constellation, learn a new grouping of stars, and see a couple of bright open star clusters. And have a great week, everybody. We'll have something new for you next week. Thanks for watching.